I'm Bishop William Medley of the Diocese of Owensboro, and I welcome you to another edition of Across the Diocese. Today it's my joy to welcome and introduce Jay VanHoosier, who has just come to work with the Diocese as the Director of Faith Formation. Welcome, Jay.
Thank you, Bishop.
Good to have you here. You've been with us a few weeks now.
Yes.
And an exciting few weeks in this year of pandemic. You're coming to us from a foreign country. He's coming to us from southern Indiana and has been part of the Church of the Diocese of Evansville and parishes there. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, your academic background, some of your career path.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me today, Bishop. It's an honor to be here with you today. I am not that far away from here. My origins are across the river. It's in Spencer County. I was born in Davis County Hospital when it was still here in Owensboro, but I was raised in Spencer County in Dale. Southern Indiana has been my home all but 3 or 4 years in the 90s. Where I took a job up north for a little bit, and I went to school in southern Indiana in college, and I got a degree in history, and then I ended up meeting the person who would be my wife, and she, Rose, jokingly said, well, at least I hope it was jokingly, said that you can't be a student for the rest of your life if you want to be married to me. And so I took an extra year, got certified to teach high school, and was a teacher, and then an assistant principal and a principal for 11 years, and then decided that God was telling me to do something else with my life. And so I went into the private business. I was an operations manager for a while in a retail establishment, and ended up being a logistics manager for a company, a national company that bought and sold and serviced ATMs and bank equipment, and then decided to go back into education. I felt like there was a need for me to do that, and so in a little different fashion, I went to work for the state of Indiana in their workforce development department and prepared adults to take their GREs. Toward the end of that career, I felt the discernment call to become a deacon, and so I started volunteering quite a bit with my home parish, and that was where I had a chance to get to know really well the pastor there at that time. And I'll never forget, I was in the middle of a class, and I get a call on my cell phone, and I excused myself because it was the ring I give to important people. And so I excused myself from the office, and it was my pastor, and he said, "I'd like for you to come work for me." I didn't even ask him what it was, what the job entailed. Something said, "Take it." And so I said, "I will. When do you want me to start?" And it ended up being the Director of Faith Formation for St. John the Baptist, which is the largest parish in the Diocese of Evansville.
In Newburgh.
In Newburgh, Indiana, yes. And so I did that, and through the discernment of my deacon formation, I was ordained almost 4 years ago, this past August 7th, and just took on more and more responsibility, and then all of a sudden I see the job posting for Director of Faith Formation for the Diocese of Owensboro, and those little nudges you get, I believe, from God, apply. Just see what happens. And it was one of the first times in my life I felt like the doors were being opened by God the way they were supposed to open. The process was so quick, and boy, what a welcoming place this has been. It's been a joy to work for the Diocese of Owensboro so far. So
you mentioned your wife. Do you all have a family?
Yes, Rose. I've been married almost 33 years. I have a 30-year-old daughter, Kayla, and a 26-year-old son, Nathan. They both live in Indianapolis, and they're both independent. They're not taking money from my wallet so much anymore, which is good. I think Rose and I have done our job there. But yeah, we've been happily married for 33 years almost. It's been a great choice there.
I'll just let the people know that'll be watching this that you and I discuss privately basketball allegiances, that we don't have to cover that today, though it may come up in evaluations. You never know. We've brought you now to work for the Diocese of Owensboro, Director of Faith Formation. I don't think everybody knows exactly what that means, so tell us what that means. Tell us who the population is you'll be encountering most frequently.
Most frequently, I will be part of that diocesan office that assists our parishes in their religious education programs, for the most part. However, faith formation is so much more than just working with our children. Faith formation is dealing with everybody from birth to death and helping them engage their faith. And so expanding their knowledge base about the faith and making themselves closer to God in that process. So, and in the process, the main goal for faith formation is to make everyone disciples of Jesus Christ. How do we live our faith in the world? And so we do that primarily by assisting parishes, assisting priests, assisting catechists, and also helping them strengthen the domestic church, the family at home, who the church teaches are the primary catechists of the children.
Sure. And you know, both the Holy See and the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops have reminded us that as vital, as important as religious education, faith formation is for the K through 12 crowd that receives the vast majority of our resources, they've observed that our effectiveness is probably going to be measured by what we're doing for adults. For exactly the reason you said, mothers and fathers are the faith formators of their children. And if they don't feel equipped for that job, well, then that's not going to happen. They can send them to CCD, they can send them to religious education 5 times a week. But if they don't feel comfortable reinforcing that and building on that foundation at home, there's going to be a missing piece. And so that'd be an important part of your work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's very important that we help the parishes, help the parents feel comfortable in that role. Yeah. And so that's what I see as part of my role, is helping them do that, having those conversations with parents saying, you can do this. We're with you in the trench, so to speak, to help you do this for your family.
And Western Kentucky isn't a totally foreign area to you. You told me you have some roots in Hickman.
Yes.
And that your wife has roots in Whitesville. So
that's correct.
You know your way around a little bit.
Yeah. My mother was born and raised in Fulton County, and she went to Casey High School way back in the day when it was a high school there, so that was just north of Hickman. And many of my holidays were spent in Jordan, Kentucky, which is between basically Hickman and Fulton. So, yeah. So, and then of course my in-laws are Howards, which there are many in Whitesville. My father-in-law was from Whitesville, Kentucky, and so I'm very familiar with Whitesville barbecue and love it. So.
Okay, very good. Well, Jay, welcome. It's good to have you here. I'm excited about what's going to happen as you get to know even better the diocese and can be a resource and an encouragement to all those people on our parish level whose task it is to empower people to pass on the faith. So welcome to Kentucky. Welcome to the Diocese of Owensboro.
Thank you, Bishop. It's wonderful to be here.